Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, people of the world, today I am bringing to y'all the most accurate predictions of the 2025 NFL season. It is about that time, ladies and gentlemen. The NFL season literally starts in 4 days for me. I'm recording this on Monday. It's about time for us to sit around on a couch. Matter of fact, standing in front, that's what I do. Standing in front of the TV, watching football for 7 straight hours, like it's a day job. About time to yell at the TV screen like they can hear us. Running around the house, jumping for joy when our team does something amazing. It's about time to feel the joy, to feel the hatred, feel the despair of football. So ladies and gentlemen, I'm about to give y'all my predictions. These predictions will be 100% accurate. So don't compare them to anybody else. Don't go watch anybody else's videos because these will be 100% accurate. These are the only predictions that matter. My name is Josiah, aka Joe Strong. If this is your first time watching, welcome. Stay, relax, and enjoy the show. Yo, what's good, YouTube? It's your boy Joe back on your screen. And like I said in the beginning, in this video I am giving y'all my predictions of the 2025 NFL season. Who I think will win the divisions, who I think will make the playoffs, and who I see winning awards and leading the top stats. But before I do get into the video, y'all let me know who y'all favorite team is. Y'all claim y'all teams down in the comments right now. As you can see, your boy's rocking with the Commanders. Been a Commanders fan since birth. Back then they was called the Redskins, but in case y'all needed proof, you feel me? Got that RG3, got that Jerome Bettis. You know what I'm saying? Been a fan since birth. We just re-signed Terry last week. We're locked and loaded. Y'all let me know who y'all favorite team is down in the comments. Make sure y'all leave a like. Subscribe if you're new, and if you're not, why you not subbed up, man? You watching all of the videos, watching this current video right now, and you still not subbed up, man, go ahead and subscribe, especially if you're a football fan. I will be reacting to most of the games this season. Every single Commanders game because I am a Commanders fan. But I will be reacting to big time games, you know, very entertaining games and stuff like that. So if you don't want to miss any of that, make sure you sub up. Now, with all that being said, let's get into the video. First on the list, we are going to predict every single team's record for this season. We're going to go through every single team by division and determine how many wins and losses they will get. Go through every single team individually. So this video might be lengthy, but I promise you I am not going to sit here and explain and go into deep detail about every single game for every single team. I don't got the time for that. Alrighty guys, I went ahead and took the initiative and took the privilege upon myself to go ahead and fill out everybody's schedule so that I can just talk about them instead of y'all watching me pick them. That would have took a lot longer. So now I'm just about to talk about, you know, my thought process behind it and why I think these teams will end with these records. Why certain teams will miss the playoffs and why certain teams will make the playoffs. As you can see, we are starting with the NFC East. We are starting with the NFC. A lot of people like to start with the AFC or like to go alphabetically. I could care less. I'm starting with the most controversial and the most interesting conference, in my opinion. I think there's more good teams in the NFC East than there is AFC East, but there's more heavyweight teams in the AFC. But we are starting with the NFC East. We are starting with the Dallas Cowboys. I have the Cowboys going 6-11. I have them losing week 1 to the Eagles, which is on Thursday. They're going to get demolished. Their defense sucks. That's the main reason why I have them going 6-11. Their defense sucks. They traded away their best defensive player that kept them afloat last year, Micah Parsons. They got rid of him. And then they went and paid Deron Bland almost $100 million. Like, what are we doing? What are we doing? What are you doing, Jerry Jones? I love this for me because I'm a Commanders fan, as you can see. I'm a Commanders fan. So I love this. I hate the Cowboys with a passion. So I don't mind them being trash. I don't mind it at all. I actually prefer it. But it's just ridiculous. You feel me? It gets to a point where you just feel bad. You know what I'm saying? I feel bad for them. Their offense is good, but they have no running. They have no running game. Javonte Williams is their starting running back. All they're going to do is pass the ball. CD and George Pickens. Dak is airing that joint out. You feel me? They got Jake Ferguson as well. But their O-line isn't as good as they once were. You know what I'm saying? I got them going 6-11, losing week 1. But then they win 2 in a row against the Giants and Bears. Then I got them losing to the Packers. Then I got them beating the Jets and Panthers. But then, of course, they fall to the Commanders both times that they play us. Same with the Eagles. They fall to the Eagles both times that they play them. But then in week 8, they also fall to the Broncos. And then week 9, I have them beating the Cardinals. Then coming off their bye week, I have them beating the Raiders. And then they lose the rest of the games the rest of the way. So yes, I have them losing 7 straight games to end the season. That is a tough stretch. They play the Eagles, then the Chiefs, then the Lions, then the Vikings, then the Chargers, then the Commanders. That is a tough stretch. I don't see a single win. I'm sorry. And then they'll probably just rest their starters in week 18. So just like how I have the Giants going 6-11, a very not similar situation at all, but I feel like they're similar tier teams. But the Giants are on the up and up. They're rising. They're going up and up. You feel me? Giants have a wonderful defense. They probably have the best defensive line in the NFL. They just drafted up Abdul Carter. They just traded for Brian Burns last year. They still have Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't think he's good at all, if I'm being honest. But then they have Sexy Dexy right in that middle. So they have a great D-line, probably the best. Decent players elsewhere, linebackers. Their secondary sucks, I'll say that. Secondary is barbecue chicken. But I believe in Russell Wilson this year. I really do, and I'm a big fan of Malik Neighbors. He got the swag. He remind me of Odell, you feel me? Not the way he plays, but just like the swag. He a New York Giants receiver, you know what I'm saying? Similar LSU, you know what I'm saying? But even though I believe in Russ, I don't see them winning too many games because this is a tough schedule. The NFC East has a very tough schedule. Playing teams like the Chiefs, Chargers, Broncos, Vikings, Green Bay, Lions, I don't see too many wins for the Giants, if I'm being honest. So I got them losing their first 4. Then they finally get a win in week 5 against the Saints. Saints, spoiler alert, they're probably going to be the worst team in this video. Then I got them losing both times to the Eagles. Then I got them losing week 7 to the Broncos. Week 10, I have them losing to the Bears. Week 11 and 12, I have them losing to the Packers and Lions. Then in week 13, they bounce back and beat the Patriots. Then coming off their bye, they lose 2 straight to the Commanders and the Vikings. Then I have them winning out against the Raiders and Cowboys. All right, moving on to the best 2 teams in this division by far. We have the Eagles, the reigning Super Bowl champions. I have them going 12-5. They're going to be a top 3 team in the league once again. They have probably the best offense in the league. You feel me? Best all-around offense, really. A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Saquon Barkley in the back. Jalen Hurts is mid, but I will say him because he does help the offense. He's a great game manager. He's a great he's probably just in the perfect situation, honestly. He's a great decision maker, I will say that. But I'm not a Hurts guy. I'm not a fan of him at all. He's a good person, I like his character, but on the field, he's overrated. Y'all saying that he should be a top 5 or he should be the number 1 ranked quarterback in the league after he just won a Super Bowl. He's not the reason why they just won a Super Bowl. He might have won Super Bowl MVP, but he is not the reason why they won. Okay. The 5 games I have them losing is week 3 to the Rams, week 7 to the Vikings. Even though I'm not the biggest believer in the Vikings, I feel like they can win. That defense is very, very nice. Week 11 to the Lions, and then week 16 and 17 to my Commanders and the Bills. That is a tough stretch right there. They play the Commanders, Bills, and then Commanders again. But yeah, they're obviously going to make the playoffs once again. It's a given. So, and then moving on to the last, but not least, team in the NFC East, we have my Washington Commanders. I have us going 12-5 once again. I see a lot of people talking trash about us. I see a lot of people saying that we're not going to be as good as we were last year. We're going to fall off heavy. Jaden Daniels is going to have a sophomore slump. Blah, 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 blah. Say all of that. Jaden Daniels is going to be even better. Jaden Daniels is going to be an MVP candidate this season. I don't care what anybody says. He is going to be an MVP candidate. And I stamp that. I bar that. He's going to go crazy. You gave him more weapons. We re-signed Terry McLaurin. Terry just got his money, so he about to have a career year. We just went and got Deebo Samuel. Y'all might say he's washed, but in this system, he's going to show y'all he still got it. We still got Zach Ertz. We just drafted Jalen Lane, a rookie. And then on defense, y'all sleeping on our defense. We got a great secondary. Marshawn Lattimore, healthy Marshawn Lattimore. Mikey Sanders still in the nickel, aka the slot. Then we got Trey Amos on the opposite side. Long, lengthy rookie coming out of Ole Miss. He's nice, man. He's nice. Then we got Quan Martin up top. Then we got Bobby Wagner in the middle calling the plays. Then we got Daron Payne stuffing the run. Then we just signed Von Miller. He might be a little old, but he gonna get to that quarterback. I believe. I best believe that. But anyway, the 5 games I have my Commanders losing are week 2 to the Packers. Packers just got Micah Parsons. They are going to be a good team, but I don't think they're going to be as good as people think. People are saying that they're going to be contenders, that they're going to make a deep playoff push. I don't think so, honestly. Yes, they got Micah. That makes them a lot better. But other than Micah, Rashawn Gary, and Xavier McKinney, who else do they have on that defense? Their secondary is... I don't even know who they have in their secondary, honestly, other than Xavier McKinney. But then that offense, I love Josh Jacobs. I really do believe in Josh Jacobs. Jordan Love, he's nice. He's definitely a Packers quarterback, I will say that. But his wide receivers suck. Other than Matthew Golden, I don't believe in anybody else. They either cannot catch the ball or they cannot stay healthy. But then in week 5, I have us losing to the Chargers. Week 8, I have us losing to the Chiefs, of course. And then week 10, I have us falling to the Lions, sadly. In my heart of hearts, I will say I think we will win this game. But there is a strong possibility that we won't. And I want it to be as realistic as possible. Me being biased would be me giving us that win. And that would make us the winner of the division. And I don't think that's realistic. I think the Eagles will win the division. I don't think we will win it. Also, I messed up. I said the Eagles are 12-5. Actually, the Eagles are supposed to be 13-4. I have it on my piece of paper right here. Eagles are supposed to be 13-4. They are supposed to... Who are they supposed to beat? They're supposed to beat the Lions. So, boom. The Lions play the Eagles and then Commanders back-to-back. Or Commanders then Eagles back-to-back. I have the Lions beating us and then losing to the Eagles. So, like I said, I wanted it to be realistic as possible. I didn't want to be biased and give the Commanders that win over the Lions and make the Commanders the division winner when I think the Eagles will win the division once again. But we will be right behind them once again. And then I have us losing to the Eagles in week 18, rounding us off at 12-5. So for the NFC East, I have the Philadelphia Eagles in first place, going 13-4 and 5-1 in the division. Then I have the Washington Commanders 12-5, 5-1 in the division as well. And then I have the Cowboys in third, 6-11, and the Giants in fourth, 6-11 as well. Very, very tight race for both first and last place, which is ridiculous. Moving on to the next conference. All right, now we have the NFC North. We are starting with the Chicago Bears. I have them going 8-9 this season. The Bears will be better than they were last year, but I don't think they will be as good as people think. I see a lot of people saying that the Bears might make the playoffs. The Bears are going to be in contention for a playoff spot. I don't believe that. I think Caleb Williams still has a lot of growth to do, even though they just got Ben Johnson. And, you know, they're looking pretty good. They're looking pretty decent. They added weapons. I'm not that much of a believer, honestly. I'm really not. They're going to have to show me. So you can say I disrespected them, but yeah, I got them winning week 1, and then I have them losing 4 in a row to the Lions, Cowboys, Raiders, and Commanders after their bye week. The Raiders, y'all might think, you feel me? Oh, that's a horrible take. They're way better than the Raiders. I personally believe in the Raiders. I do. Even though the Raiders have nobody on that defense other than Max Crosby, I think that offense is going to be very nice. They have Geno Smith. He can sling that rock. They finally have a good quarterback. The last time they had a good quarterback was MVP Derek Carr. And that was like 2016. And he was on that team for 3 more years after that. And then they have Ashton Genty in that backfield. They got Brock Bowers, who can easily go for 1,300 yards this season. I'm not sure if they're going to keep Jacoby Myers or trade him because he just requested a trade. But they did just pick up Amari Cooper. He might be a little washed, but he's still going to do something. He's going to catch the ball. Raiders is my underdog team. So then boom, of course I have them beating Saints week 7, losing to the Ravens in week 8, and then winning 2 straight against the Bengals and Giants. Then I have them losing to the Vikings in week 11, week 12, winning against the Steelers, and then losing twice to the Eagles and Packers. But then I have them splitting with the Packers in week 6, winning that game. Also beating the Browns in week 15. And then moving on, the Detroit Lions. The Lions made it into the second round of the playoffs, the divisional round of the playoffs last year, and they got absolutely spanked by the Commanders. I enjoyed that. I definitely think they were a little overrated last year. But this year they will be a lot better because everybody will be healthy. Aiden Hutchinson, he's going to be a Defensive Player of the Year candidate. They're going to be healthy. Lee McNeil's coming back later in the season. I think regardless if they were healthy or not, we would have won that game. I'm not even going to lie. That might be me being biased, but I really think we would have won that game regardless. But Jahmyr Gibbs, I have him as a dark horse Offensive Player of the Year candidate. I really think they're going to be very nice and, explosives on offense. Yes, they lost Ben Johnson, but they didn't lose any of their guys. They still got Jared Goff. I don't think he's that good, but they still got Jared Goff, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Jameson Williams, Sam Laporta, David Montgomery, and my boy Jahmyr Gibbs. They still got all their weapons. You can still implement the same plays and stuff. You feel me? You don't have to change anything, and they will be just as good. But I have them going 12-5, losing against the Ravens in week 3, the Chiefs in week 6, Eagles in week 11, and then the Packers in week 13 and Rams in week 15. They will obviously make the playoffs again, but I think they will be a lot better than they were last year when it comes to the playoffs, I said. As long as they stay healthy. If they stay healthy, I think they can make a Super Bowl push. Next, the Green Bay Packers. I have them going 10-7 this season. I see a lot of people saying that the Packers will be a Super Bowl contender. They will make a deep playoff push. I don't believe it, honestly. Like I said, already went on a little rant about them earlier. I don't believe in their pass catchers. I don't believe in anybody but Matthew Golden. And I like Tucker Kraft, but he's not like a top-end tight end. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, Dontavian Wicks, he gets open, but he can't catch the ball. Jaden Reed, he can't catch the ball as well. Christian Watson, he can't stay on the field. So it's like, come on. They're going to have to run the ball every single play or something, or just throw it to Matthew Golden every single play. Like, come on. I don't know. That offense needs better weapons. And then the defense, I couldn't name you anybody on that defense other than Micah, Rashawn Gary, Xavier McKinney, Campbell. No, Devondre Campbell's not on that team anymore. They have some linebacker that I really like. I can't think of his name right now though. But I don't know who they have in their secondary other than McKinney. I have them losing to the Detroit Lions in week 1. I have them winning against my Commanders in week 2 though. But then I have them losing in week 6 to the Bengals, losing to the Steelers in week 8, and in week 9 bounce back against the Panthers. Then they lose to the Eagles, but then they win 5 in a row. But then they lose the rest of their games of the season to the Bears, Ravens, and Vikings, ending with a 10-7 record. And the last team in the NFC North, the Vikings. I don't think the Vikings will be that good this year. I don't think they will be at all. I don't really believe in J.J. McCarthy. I don't know what he is. A lot of people, for some reason, they believe in him. I don't. He barely threw the ball in college. They were literally a run first. Like, they will run the ball 30 times before they will throw the ball 20 times. And you expect him to go out here and lead this team with high hopes and high expectations to the playoffs. I don't think that'll happen. I have them losing their first 4 games specifically because I don't know what J.J. McCarthy is. I think he will struggle out the gate first. And the only reason why, not the only reason, but the main reason why I see them winning games, or potentially winning more than 8 games, is because of that defense. Their defense might be the best defense in the NFL. They have a lot of great players, a lot of veterans as well. And mind you, yes, on offense, he probably is in the best situation. He has Jettis, Jordan Addison. Why did I say Addison? TJ Hawkinson. Then he has Aaron Jones in the backfield. So he has a lot of good weapons, but I don't know what he is. So like I said, I have them losing 4 in a row, but then I have them bouncing back and winning 3 in a row, specifically against the Eagles and Chargers. I think off that bye week, they will have a lot of energy coming off that bye week. You know, they're ready, they're hungry, they want to win, they want to get back in the playoffs. They just came off a 14-win season. They want to get back to that spot after losing 4 in a row to start the season. They want to get back to that. So I have them beating the Eagles and the Chargers, but then I have them losing 2 more to the Vikings and Ravens. But then they go on a little mini win streak against the Bears, Packers, and Seahawks. But then I have them losing to my Commanders, of course. And then, of course, they're beating the Cowboys and Giants. And then they're losing to the Lions and Packers to end the season. So, with that being said, the standings for the NFC North. The Detroit Lions in first place with a 12-5 record, 5-1 record in the division. Green Bay Packers in second place with a 10-7 record, 3-3 in the division. And then I have the Minnesota Vikings in third with an 8-9 record, and the Chicago Bears in fourth with an 8-9 record as well. All right, boom. Moving on to the NFC South. I have the Atlanta Falcons going 10-7 this season. The Atlanta Falcons have a lot of great players on their team, a lot of good weapons. I just need to see more from Michael Penix. I didn't believe in him. I didn't believe in many quarterbacks from last year's draft. I'm not going to lie. Michael Penix was 1. Bo Nix was 2. And what's his name? I was just talking about him. J.J. McCarthy was 3. I didn't believe in those 3. The other quarterbacks, I was high on them. Those 3, I didn't really believe in them. Bo Nix obviously proved me wrong, but I think he's a little overrated now. People keep trying to say he's on the same level of Jaden Daniels. Jaden Daniels is in a tier of his own when it comes to those, you feel me, those group of rookie quarterbacks from last year. So don't disrespect him by saying Bo Nix is on the same level, because he's not. Anyway, Michael Penix. He's very accurate. He gives me Tua vibes, and I don't like that. I think my thing is I don't really like left-handed quarterbacks. I really don't. And I can't stand Tua. Like, I hate Tua. I'm a Tua hater. Now, don't get me wrong. I love who Tua is as a man, as a person, off the field. When it comes to off the field, I love Tua as a person. But when it comes to him strictly being a football player on that field, I hate his game. I can't stand it. I don't like him. And I feel like it's the same thing with Michael Penix. I feel like he gives me Tua vibes. But he has weapons. You feel me? He has Bijan Robinson, who, I'm not going to spoil anything, but he's a top 3 running back in the NFL. He killed the Commanders last year. I will say that. Drake London, Darnell Mooney. I would say Kyle Pitts, but he's buns now. So, and then their defense is actually pretty decent. You feel me? Jesse Bates, Arnold Ebiketie. You know, they got some pretty nice pieces on that defense as well. So I have them going 10-7, winning games against the Bucks, Vikings. I'm not gonna lie. Now that I look at it, their schedule is pretty easy because I have them beating up on bad teams. I have them beating the Panthers, the Dolphins, the Patriots, the Colts, the Saints, the Jets, the Cardinals. They're beating up on bad teams. Saints 2 times, you know? And then they're losing pretty much to all of the good teams. Commanders in week 4, Bills in week 6, 49ers in week 7. Seahawks in week 14, even though I don't think they're mid, in my opinion, Seahawks. And then splitting with the Bucks, and then they're losing to my dark horse team to make it to the Super Bowl, the Rams. So they're playing a lot of bad teams and winning, as you should. But when it comes to the good teams, I can't see them beating any of them. I'm not going to lie. So I have them at 10-7. Moving on to the Carolina Panthers, I will say, I'm a Panthers believer. I'm a Bryce Young believer. I really like Bryce Young. I want him to succeed really, really bad. And I really wanted to give them a winning record, but I just couldn't, man. I just couldn't. For some reason, their schedule just looks harder than the freaking Falcons, you know? Even though they're in the same division, it's like Falcons are just significantly better than the Panthers, honestly. Like, they just have more talent. The Panthers they're just young, and they have to gel and really show us what they have. You know what I'm saying? I can't really give them too many wins when I don't really know what they are. So I do have them going 7-10. I really only have them beating the bad teams, like, once again, the Patriots, Dolphins, Jets, Saints twice. I have them splitting with the Falcons. But I just can't see them beating teams like the Jaguars or the 49ers or the Cowboys, even though the Cowboys' defense sucks. Their offense is way too good to lose to the Panthers, if you ask me. So I got them going 7-10. Then moving on to possibly the worst team in football right now, the New Orleans Saints. You know, shout out to Bengal. If you don't know who Bengal is, he's a NFL/Madden YouTuber. He is doing a Saints rebuild franchise, and he's making the Saints look good, and that's giving me hope and belief in the Saints. But you know, realistically, they're not going to be good. If you have, what's his name? I was about to call him Desmond Ridder. His name is Spencer Rattler. If you have Spencer Rattler as your starting quarterback, you're not going to be good. And then you have Tyler Shoud, or whatever his last name, who's a 25, 26-year-old rookie as your backup quarterback fighting for the starting position. You're not going to be good. Their defense isn't that good. They're getting very old on defense, actually. They're not going to be good. I only have them winning 2 games, and that's one game against the Bucs because the Bucs are going to troll. I don't think the Bucs will be too good this year. They are struggling with injuries, and I just feel like they're going to fall off a little bit. And then I have them beating the Titans in Week 17. Every other game will either be a blowout or they will find a way to lose it themselves. And then for the last team in the NFC South, I have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going 9-8. Like I said, I think they're going to fall off. I think they might just miss the playoff by a little hair. I feel like since Baker's going to miss, so many of his weapons, Mike Evans is a year older. Chris Godwin has that little ankle injury. Jalen McMillan is on the IR now. Even though they have Emeka Egbuka now, I don't know. I think his passing stats are going to fall off because he's going to have to rely on, Mike Evans more and Cade Otton as a third option. And it's like, you can't, no, I'm sorry. Baker likes to sling it. They're probably going to teams are probably going to double team Mike Evans. Emeka, you can't really rely on a, rookie receiver, when he's not even, no offense to him, but he's not a generational talent or, some crazy prospect like Malik Neighbors was or Brian Thomas Jr. was, So I have them going 9-8, winning games against the Texans, Jets, but then losing 5 straight, I should say, against the Eagles, Seahawks, 49ers, Lions, and then the Saints. Yes, I have them losing to the Saints. I feel like since they're on a little skid, they're going to troll a little bit. They might be a little banged up by this time. Yeah, but then I have them bouncing back, winning against the Patriots. Then they're going to lose against the Bills. But then this is where they turn up and really lock in. I have them winning against the Rams. I did not want to give them that win at all. I really do believe in the Rams this season. But then I have them winning 5 in a row. Then I have them losing against the Dolphins in Week 17. And then I have them sweeping the Panthers in Week 18. And so for the NFC South standings, I have in first place the Atlanta Falcons going 10-7 with the 4-2 division record. Tampa Bay Buccaneers in second going 9-8 with the 4-2 division record as well. Panthers in third place going 7-10 with the 3-3 division record. And then the New Orleans Saints going 2-15, fighting for that number 1 overall pick. And then moving on to the last and final division in the NFC, we have the NFC West. They're starting off with the Arizona Cardinals. I have the Cardinals going 7-10 this season. Cardinals do this every time they're healthy. Every time they have hype around them, they start off amazing. Looking like a top 5, top 10 team in the NFL. Kyler Murray being an MVP candidate for the first 4 or 5 weeks of the season, and then they completely fall off a cliff. I have the same thing happening once again. I have them winning 6 straight games to start the season. Yes, you heard that right. 6. They have a pretty easy schedule to start the season. They're playing the Saints, Panthers, Titans, Colts, and I see them sneaking one against the 49ers because they're such on a roll. You feel me? They're going to be a top 5 team to start the season. So I see them going on a roll, beating the 49ers, and then I honestly think the Seahawks are mid. So I have them beating the Seahawks. It comes to a halt week 7. They play a real team. Packers are going to spank them. And after their bye week, I have them losing 3 in a row. And then after they lose three in a row, they get 1 win. They think they're back on track. They think they're going, they're getting their wheels turning back again, No, I have them losing out the rest of the season. I have them losing 6 in a row to end the season. I really don't. I want to believe in the Cardinals, but I really don't. Kyler Murray is going to have to show me that 1, he can stay healthy, and 2, that he can keep up his level of play throughout a full NFL season. I need to see that he can actually be good, not just in the first few weeks of the season, but for a complete season. I need Marvin Harrison to show me something. Trey McBride's going to do what he do. I need Marvin Harrison to show me something. Boom! Moving on to possibly one of my favorite teams other than the Commanders. I'm not a fan of them, but if it came down to it, I would support them if I had to. The Los Angeles Rams. I really, really like their team. I really like their players. I love Matthew Stafford. Puka Nacua is my second favorite wide receiver in the league behind Terry McLaurin. And Devontae Adams is my second favorite wide receiver all time behind Larry Fitzgerald. So they have 2 of my favorite receivers in the league on their team at the same time. Then they have Matty Stafford, throwing them that rock. Then they have Kyron Williams, who's pretty good in that backfield. Decent O-line. Tyler Higbee as tight end. He's pretty cool. And then their defense is pretty nice. Their defense is pretty nice. They have Jared Verse off the edge. They have the other young kid, Byron Young. I almost forgot his name. Byron Young. They have Cam Curl from the Commanders a few years ago. They have another cornerback, but I can't think of his name. But I think they're going to be a dark horse to make the Super Bowl this year. I have them going 13-4, only losing games against the 49ers, Ravens, Bucks, and Seahawks. But I have them beating teams such as the Lions in Week 15, the Eagles in Week 3, splitting with the 49ers in Week 10. And other than those games, their schedule is relatively easy. You feel me? They play the Texans. I don't think the Texans will be good this year. Titans, Colts, Panthers, Cardinals. So they have some give-me wins in there. So I think they'll be very good this season. And then I also have another team being very good this season. Making this list, making this prediction, going into it, I did not believe in the 49ers. My thought process, if y'all heard my thought process and like how bad I didn't want to give them over 10 wins, y'all would think I was a hater. But I just don't believe in them staying healthy. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if they can stay healthy. They don't really have any pass catchers. They only have George Kittle. Other than that, they have to rely on Juwan Jennings and Ricky Pearsall as their number 1 and 2 wide receivers. I can't do that. And then Brock Purdy, nice, but he's a game manager. If we're being honest, he's a game manager. He can't make something out of nothing. Like, he's not that type of quarterback. He's not on that tier. He's like a tier 3 quarterback. Maybe top of tier 4. Brock Purdy, I don't know. I don't know about him. I'm not sure if he can make something shake with this team. Brandon Ayuk not supposed to come back until like week 9, week 10. Yes, they got Christian McCaffrey back, but Christian McCaffrey can't carry this team to, you feel me, the playoffs. He couldn't do that in Carolina. And Carolina sucked. They don't really only had him. But they have more weapons on this team, on this 49ers team. So that's why they have 12 wins. Plus, their defense is very, very good. So I have them going 12-5. Like I said with the Rams, they have a few gimme games, such as against the Saints, the Panthers, the Titans, the Texans, the Browns. You feel me? They have some gimme games. But I have them ultimately losing 5 games against the Cardinals in week 3, splitting with them. Jacksonville Jaguars in week 4. I think they will be very, very, very good. I think the Jaguars will be better than a lot of people expect. The Giants in week 9. I think the Giants will just surprise people. Like I said, that's going to be one of Russell Wilson's, danger rush games where he just turns into a freaking top 10 quarterback of all time, and then losing to the Rams in week 10 and the Bears in week 17. And then the last team in the NFC, we have the Seattle Seahawks. I have them ending with an 8-9 record. I think they're pretty mid. Sam Darnold, I'm not sure if he'll be as good as he was last year with the Vikings. The Vikings just had an all-around perfect team around him. Honestly, good O-line, great receivers, great defense, probably the best defense in the league last year. But this Seattle Seahawks team, their defense is going to be good, but I don't think it's going to be as good as the Vikings defense was last year. And they have weapons, you feel me? They have JSN, Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp might be washed in some people's eyes, but I think Cooper Kupp is going to be nice if he stays healthy. And that's the issue with Cooper Kupp. He can't stay healthy. Ever since he had that Triple Crown season, he hasn't been healthy since. So that's the issue with him. But they also have Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet. So they have some weapons, but I just don't know. I don't know. I don't know about this team. I think they probably have the toughest schedule out of, everybody in their division. They're playing teams like the 49ers, who I have them losing to twice. The Steelers, I have them losing to. The Jaguars, I have them losing to. I like the Jaguars more than the Seahawks. My Commanders to losing to. Rams, they're splitting with, only because they're in division game. If they weren't in division, you feel me? Division games are always competitive. They're always, you feel me? Something going on. But if it wasn't in division, I'm giving the Rams a sweep. And then they also playing the Vikings, Sam Darnold's old team. I just think the Vikings are a better overall team other than quarterback. And yeah, I just can't see them, winning 10 or more games or even making the playoffs, if I'm being honest. For the NFC West standings, I have the Los Angeles Rams in first place with a 13-4 record, going 4-2 in the division. Then I have the San Francisco 49ers going 12-5 with a 4-2 division record as well. Then I have the Seahawks in third place going 8-9, and the Cardinals in fourth place going 7-10. Boom, here's a cool look at the standings. But now let's go look at the playoff picture. So boom, for the NFC, this is my playoff picture. I have the Rams as the number 1 seed getting a bye week in round 1. Then as the number 2 seed, I have the Philadelphia Eagles. Then as the 3 seed, I have the Detroit Lions. 4 seed, Atlanta Falcons. 5 seed, my Washington Commanders. 6 seed, San Francisco 49ers. And as the 7 seed, the Green Bay Packers. Packers will be taking on the Eagles at home. The 49ers will be taking on the Lions in Detroit, and the Commanders will be taking on the Falcons in Atlanta. I will not be, making my picks for the playoffs right here, right now. I will do that at the end when I'm done with the AFC and have all the playoff teams. But that was indeed my NFC record and playoff predictions. Let's get into the AFC. All right, we are starting with the best team in the AFC East, the Buffalo Bills. I believe that they will go 14-3 this season. Them boys just unveiled the best jerseys I've ever seen, them Arctic white joints. Yeah, they are not losing more than 3 games this season. They are going for the Super Bowl. They are going for that. They are going for Josh Allen's second ring of the year. I only got them losing 3 games. You feel me? They're going to lose week 1 to the Ravens. And then they're going to lose in week 12 to the Texans and week 13 to the Steelers. I feel like those 3 specific teams always play the Bills relatively well. I don't know why, but yeah. But the Bills have a pretty easy schedule, especially considering that they share a division with the Jets, Dolphins, and Patriots. Like, that's easy wins right there. Literally, I have them sweeping all 3 of them. Literally, that's 6 easy wins. And then you throw in the Panthers, the Browns. Like, that's easy wins, bro. The only tough games is Ravens, Chiefs, Steelers, which they can win that game, and Eagles. Those are the only tough games they really have. I feel like the Falcons, they're gonna put up a fight, but I comfortably am taking the Bills right there. I believe Josh Allen will have another MVP type season. I'm not sure if he will win MVP. I love that Josh Allen finally has an MVP to his name. It would be crazy if he never won an MVP. But last year was not the year for him to get the MVP. I ain't gonna lie. And I'm a Josh Allen lover. I love Josh Allen. Second or third favorite quarterback in the league behind Jaden Daniels or Matthew Stafford. But I love Josh Allen. But Lamar threw for 41 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, over 4,000 passing yards, and 900 rushing yards. There's no way he should not have won MVP. But I digress. The Bills are going to be dominant once again. Josh Allen is doing all this with literally no help in his wide receiver core. He has wide receiver twos all around. You feel me? Next team, I have the Miami Dolphins going 8-9 this season. The Dolphins are just in a rut. They are in... There's just so much going on with the Dolphins. Mike McDaniels is on the hot seat. He might get fired after this season. Tyreek Hill is injured, but then he also don't want to play. So it's like, there's a lot going on. Devon Achane, he has a lingering calf injury. You feel me? Those can be very dangerous, especially for players as explosive as he is. Their defense isn't that good. There's just a lot going on. So I don't think they'll be that good this season. I really don't. Like I said already, I'm not a Tua fan. So, and then they played some tough. They have some tough opponents this season. They play the Bills, which I have them losing to both times. Play the Ravens, who I have them losing to. Play the Chargers, who I have them winning against, surprisingly. But Chargers is one of those teams where it's like a little iffy, where they can, like, really, it's a toss up unless it's a bottom 5 team. I feel like it's a toss up with the Chargers. They can either win or lose. Like, it's literally 50-50. But they also play the Commanders, who I have them losing to. The Bengals, who I have them losing to. So there's a lot of decent to good teams that they're playing. But I don't really have much to say about them other than they need to get it together. That's all I'm going to say. They need to get it together. All right, next up, the New England Patriots. I have them going 6-11. I have seen a lot of people with the Patriots in the playoffs. I don't believe it. Sorry, I don't. I really don't. I think they're the third best team in their division. I like Drake May. I just don't like the weapons around him. They haven't given him any help. It's no real help. It's just Band-Aids. That's what they've given him. The defense is gonna be nice. It's gonna be solid. But I don't know. They have some tough opponents as well. They also play the Steelers, Buffalo twice, the Falcons, the Ravens, the Bengals. Like, I can't give them wins over them. And then the Raiders, I have them losing to the Raiders in week 1. I'm a Raiders believer, even though I don't have them with a good record. The Raiders are going to be competitive, in my opinion. I really think they're going to put up a fight, even though their record might not reflect that. I think they will put up a fight and be competitive, just like how the Giants are in the NFC. And then I also have them losing to a team like the Panthers. I have the Panthers ranked over the Patriots. If I did a power ranking, I'll have the Patriots below the Panthers and the Raiders, personally. Yeah, they're just going to have to prove me wrong. So I have them going 6-11. Next is the New York Jets. They're going to be one of the worst teams in the league. I got them going 4-13. They're not good. They have Justin Fields as their starting quarterback. Justin Fields isn't terrible, but he's not the starting quarterback I would want on my team, especially with a lack of weapons. They're going to have a healthy Breece Hall. That's if he can stay healthy. He has not been able to stay healthy yet in his career. And then it seems like he's falling off as well. But he has Garrett Wilson and then nobody else. What? Alan Lazard? Garrett Wilson and Alan Lazard? Big whoop. Their O-line isn't that good anymore. Their defense isn't stellar anymore. They still have Sauce and Quincy Williams. But I couldn't name... Oh, do they still have Quincy Williams? I think they still got both of them. But I couldn't name anybody else on that defense, man. The Jets aren't going to be good. Only games I have them winning is week 1 to the Steelers. I feel like the Steelers are going to get off to a... I feel like the Steelers are going to... Jesus. I feel like the Steelers are going to get off to a slow start. Jesus. I feel like the Steelers are going to get off to a slow start. And the Jets are just going to surprise everybody. Pretty sure they're underdogs going into that game. So I think they're going to win that. And then they're going to lose 7 straight. After the bye, they play the Browns. They're going to whoop the Browns for sure. And then I have them upsetting the Jaguars in week 15 and beating the worst team in the league, the Saints. And to recap, for the AFC East standings, I have the Buffalo Bills, number 1, going 14-3 with a 6-0 record in the division, and them being the only team over 500. Then I have Miami Dolphins in second place, going 8-9, New England Patriots in third, going 6-11, and the New York Jets in fourth place, going 4-13. Moving on to the AFC North. All right, now we got the AFC North, starting off with the best team, one of the best teams in the league, the Baltimore Ravens. Have them going 14-3. I feel like they're going to be the best all-around team in the league. Yes, that has been the Eagles for the past couple of years, but I feel like the Ravens are going to take that title this year. I feel like the Ravens can really make a Super Bowl push this year. I feel like they can get over the edge. If they really lock in, I feel like they can get over the edge. Just the duo of Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry should be enough, honestly, on offense. But then their defense is stellar. They just picked up Jair Alexander. They still got Marlon Humphrey back there, who was all pro, by the way. They have the young kid in Nate Wiggins. He's very speedy, fast. They have Patrick Queen. They have, what's his name? Owe Adolphe? Something like that. I don't know. I feel like I'm going to just shut up. But number 99, Owe. That's his name, Owe. And then, of course, they have Kyle Hamilton at the safety. And then they just drafted Malachi Starks opposite side of him. Like, come on, bro. Their defense is nasty. They might have a contender for best defense in the league. But, yeah, they have some decent weapons. Not the best, but Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, Mark Andrews. Isaiah Likely is injured right now. But when he's healthy, he's a great weapon. But, yeah, I only got them losing 3 games. I have them losing to the Chiefs in Week 4. Steelers in Week 14, they always play good. No matter what, the AFC North plays each other hard. They play hard against each other. Like, they're always going at it. They're always in close games. So I feel like the Steelers are going to take one from them. And then I also have the Bengals taking one from them in Week 15. I mean, you got Baltimore, Cleveland, you feel me, Cincinnati. All of them in the same, you feel me, division. And then Pittsburgh. Like, come on, bro. All of them in the same division is ridiculous. But yeah, Baltimore is definitely going to be a Super Bowl contender. Cincinnati Bengals, I have them going 10-7. Potentially making the playoffs. Potentially. Their defense didn't get any better. I just feel like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase are even better. And then they like, their offense is crazy. They got Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase. T. Higgins is healthy. He just signed a new contract. Chase Brown in that backfield. Like, they're nice, bro, on offense. But that defense is so bad. Yes, they re-signed what's his name to a 1-year extension. But he probably gone after this season. For real. Like, their defense sucks. Like, it's not even funny. They have nobody on defense. But their offense is going to will them to wins. Like, they have to. Like, they literally have to. Of course, I have them beating the bad teams and stuff like that. But I also have them beating teams like the Vikings, the Green Bay Packers in Week 6, Steelers in Week 7, and the Ravens in Week 15. You feel me? Those are, you feel me, games I feel like they can pull out, they can win, but I don't think they can beat the Ravens twice. I don't think they can beat the Bills. I don't think they can beat the Lions, but they will beat up on the bad teams. They definitely will. You feel me? They play Browns twice, play the Dolphins, they play the Patriots, play the Jets. Next, we have a contender for the worst team in the league. Cleveland Browns. I have them going 2-15. This is probably very unrealistic, but at the same time, it can be very realistic. They don't know what they're doing at quarterback. They have Joe Flacco starting at quarterback. I think Shador should be starting. They have Shador at QB3. I don't know why Dylan Gabriel is going to get the opportunity to start before Shador. That's honestly ridiculous. Like, y'all want to lose. They obviously want to lose. But, yeah, offense isn't that well. They got Jerry Jeudy as wide receiver 1. When he's at best a wide receiver 2. Run game is non-existent. They have no running back. The only good thing about the Browns is Myles Garrett, Denzel Ward, and J.O.K. Those are the only bright spots about it. Everything else just sucks. Sell the team. I keep seeing that, so do it. If people are asking you to sell the team, just sell it, you know? But the only 2 wins I have them getting is against the Steelers in Week 6. Like I said, division games with the AFC North is always tough, always gritty, always close, always an upset. And then beating the Titans in Week 14. You know, going up against a rookie quarterback, I feel like that defense with Myles Garrett can be a little tough. And then lastly, the Pittsburgh Steelers. Once again, I have them going above 500, continuing their streak, and going 10-7 this season. They have some gimme games. They have some easy games. I don't think Aaron Rodgers will be the best, which sucks because he's my favorite quarterback of all time. But I think he's washed. I honestly do. But Mike Tomlin and that defense will keep them afloat. It will win them games. I'm not saying Aaron Rodgers will be horrible, but I don't think he'll be, outstanding or anything like that. I think he'll be a game manager at best. They do have some good weapons. They have DK Metcalf, Pat Fryermuth, Jalen Warren out the backfield. I don't know who their wide receiver 2 is, though. I'm not going to lie. But that defense, that is that bright spot. That's what the Steelers is all about, the defense. Yeah, but like I was saying, bro, they play they have some gimme games, bro. They play the Jets. They play the Patriots. They play the Browns twice. They play the Colts. But they also have some tough opponents. Have them beating the Packers, though. That's going to be tough. That's going to be a very close game. I think that those are two teams that are equally rated. But I got the Packers. Packers slightly above the... No, heck no. I got the... No. Hold on. I got the Steelers above the Packers because of that defense. Steelers defense is way better than the Packers defense. Don't care what nobody said. They might have the best defensive player, Micah Parsons. I got the Steelers over the Green Bay Packers. If I'm ranking teams, I'm taking the Steelers. I'm sorry. Like off talent wise, like talent alone and like what they're looking like on paper, I got the Steelers. I'm not sure if they'll make the playoffs, like they will make a push, but they will go over 500 again this season. Standings for the AFC North. This is a pretty close division minus the Browns. I got Baltimore in first place going 14-3, 4-2 in the division. Cincinnati in second going 10-7, 4-2 in the division. Pittsburgh 10-7 going 3-3 in the division, and then Cleveland Browns in last place going 2-15. All right, now for the AFC South, starting with the Houston Texans. I don't think the Texans will be that good this season. I got them going 7-10. CJ Stroud has no protection. Nobody's blocking for him. CJ Stroud has no weapons except Nico Collins. He's going to have to target Nico Collins at least 10 times a game. Joe Mixon is out with the injury. They have to rely on broken Nick Chubb. Even though I feel like Nick Chubb is going to do well. I hope he does well. I don't know. You feel me? Bro completely snapped his leg. Their defense is good. That's their bright spot. But I don't think their defense is good enough to will them to a playoff spot. Got good players. Will Anderson, he's one of the best young up-and-coming edge rushers. Derek Stingley, top 5 corner, in my opinion. So they have some players, but they just need more help. CJ needs more help. Have them starting 0-3 on the season, then winning against the Titans in week 4, but then losing 4 in a row right after that. But then going on a 4-win streak, and then on and off with the wins and losses. I don't really have them beating anybody significant, really. Well, no, I have them beating the Bills. Forgot about that. I feel like I said before, I feel like the Texans, for some reason, they play the Bills competitively. For some reason, they always play the Bills good. I don't know why, but they do. So I have them beating the Bills, upsetting the Bills. It's one of my upsets of the year. Yeah, got them going 7-10. They're not that good. They do have some gimme games, but at the same time, I don't think it will necessarily be gimmies. The Colts game isn't. I have them losing to the Colts once. They are in division, so those games are going to be tougher. Yeah, this team just needs to be better. They need more talent. So, speaking of the Colts, I have the Colts going 3-14 this season. Colts are a dumpster fire. The Colts kind of remind me of the Dolphins in a way. They have talent. They have good players, but they don't know what they want to do. They don't know what's going on. There's too much drama. There's too much stuff going on. They done benched their number 5 overall pick in Anthony Richardson for Daniel Jones. Imagine how bad you have to be benched for Daniel Jones. Now, I hate to do this to the Colts because they have one of my favorite running backs, Jonathan Taylor. I love Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to go stupid this year. He has to, because they're not going to be able to throw the ball. But at the same time, their weapons aren't the greatest. Yes, they have Michael Pittman, Alec Pierce, Josh Downs, but they're not the best. You know what I'm saying? Michael Pittman has taken a fall off, especially the past few years, mainly because of QB play. But your quarterback shouldn't matter that much. Look at Terry McLaurin. He did it with 1,000 different quarterbacks. So, you feel me? If you're good enough, you're going to put up stats regardless. And obviously, he's not good enough. And the defense is just getting worse and worse year after year. So, you only got them winning 3 games. Week 3 against the Titans. Week 17 against the Jaguars. And then Week 18 versus the Texans. Everybody else, yeah, I got them beating them. So, this might be what's best for the Colts. You feel me? Get a high draft pick. If there's a great quarterback coming out, draft him. Probably not going to be Archie Manning because he was buns in the first game. But, you feel me? Look for some talent to change your team, man. You know, this division is actually trash. Because I have the Jacksonville Jaguars in first place going 9-8. The Jaguars are perfectly mid. But I like the Jaguars. I really do. I like the Jaguars a lot this year. It's just I don't know if I can trust them. You know what I mean? I like them. I like the team. I like the players. Trevor Lawrence can easily throw for over 4,000 yards. I love Brian Thomas Jr. He's going to be nice this year. He's going to be very nice. And then he has Travis Hunter on the opposite side of him. And then you got Travis Hunter playing defense, cornerback 2 as well. Like, come on now. Then on defense, they have Trayvon Walker, Josh Hines-Allen. I think they still have Tyson Campbell. I'm not sure. But they have some good players, man. They really do. We can see if Travis Etienne can go back to what he once was. But they do have some good players. I feel like they're going to be a mid team. They're not going to be good. They're going to be mid. They're going to win They're going to win a tough game or two. And they're going to lose to a trash team or two. But yeah, it's just what they are, honestly. I have them starting 4-0. Then losing to the Chiefs in week 5. Winning to the Seahawks. And then losing to the Rams. One of those good teams that they will beat, I have them beating the 49ers in week 4. But then an example of them losing to a bad team, I have them losing to the Jets in week 15. I have them losing to the Colts in week 17, even though that is a division game. So they're just a little iffy, wishy-washy, but I hope they're good. I hope they're good. They have a lot of nice players. And then last but not least, I have the Tennessee Titans going 3-14. I have them coming off the jump hot. That's not a saying, but I don't care. I have them starting hot. You feel me? I have them coming out week 1, beating the Broncos, a playoff team last year. I have Cam Ward, you feel me, teasing people, showing them what he can do. I have them giving everybody false hope, thinking the Titans can be the next Commanders. You know, they went from a 2-3 win team to now in the playoffs, you know, really fighting for a good spot, you know, potentially making a deep run. No. They're going 3-14. They're going to win that game and then lose the next 4. Then they're going to win against the Raiders. Then they're going to lose again. Then they're going to win against the Colts. And then they're going to lose the rest of the games, man. They do play a lot of bad teams. But they are also a bad team themselves. So this record could be a lot better. But also this could be realistic, you know? Like, yeah, I can see them going 7-10, you know? Because, you feel me, they play the Colts twice. They play the Browns. They play the Saints. They play the Raiders. Like I can see them going 7-10. But I don't know, man. I don't believe. I believe in a lot of these other teams more, you know. And then I can't just have them beat like the Saints and the Browns, you know, because it's very unrealistic for an NFL team to go 0-17. So somebody gotta win. And the standings for probably the worst division in football. I got the Jacksonville Jaguars winning the division at 9-8 with a 4-2 division record. Houston in second going 7-10, 4-2 division record. Indianapolis going 3-14 in third place, and then fourth in last place. I have the Tennessee Titans going 3-14 as well. Now for the last and final division, we have the AFC West. Starting with the Denver Broncos, I have the Broncos going 10-7 and potentially making it to the playoffs once again. Led by Bo Nix, I have them starting off slow, you know, losing to the Titans, making everyone look confused like, oh my gosh, you know, everybody gaining false hope for the Titans and then losing all hope in the Broncos because they just lost to the Titans. You feel me? Oh, the Broncos defense is supposed to be this all-world defense. They just picked up Huanga. Jesus. Fuanga. Whoa. I can't even pronounce the name. Talanoa Hufanga. Oh my God. Jesus, I had to sound it out and everything. They just picked him up. They have Nick Bonito. They picked up Drake Greenlaw as well. I love Drake Greenlaw. Why am I stuttering so much? They have the best cornerback in the league, PS2. They have Riley Moss, the opposite side of him. Big Zach Allen in the middle. I really like their defense. I'm not going to lie. Their defense is very, very good. Very, very good. But yeah, everybody's going to lose hope in them and Bo Nix week 1. And then they're going to turn on the switch. You feel me? They're going to turn up in week 2. Go on a 3-game winning streak. Of course, they're going to lose to the Eagles in week 5. But then they're going to beat up on the bad teams like the Jets, Cowboys, Raiders. Raiders twice, actually. I do have them losing to the Giants. Giants are a competitive team. I don't think they're a bad team. I think they're a competitive team that will have a bad record. But then, of course, I have them losing to good teams like the Commanders, Green Bay Packers, Chargers. I do have them beating the Chiefs, though. They almost beat the Chiefs last year. Somehow they got a field goal blocked. But they do play the Chiefs well. I think they will get one on the Chiefs this year. So, yeah, I have them splitting with the Chiefs, splitting with the Chargers. So I think they'll make a playoff push. I think they'll be decent enough to at least be in the picture, you know. Next, the Kansas City Chiefs, the Devil Magic users. I have them going 13-4. For some reason, they're always good. As long as they have Mahomes on their team and Travis Kelce, they're always going to have a good record. It doesn't matter how bad their defense is, how bad they play, they're always going to have a good record. I have them only losing to the Eagles in week 2, the Bills in week 9, Broncos in week 11, and Chargers in week 15. Week 11 and week 15, those are division games, so I have them splitting with those two. But I feel like the Bills. I feel like the Bills and the Ravens, even though the Bills didn't get much better, I feel like they're going to turn up. I feel like there's going to be a switch in their head where it's like, okay, we've been down this road multiple times. They're going to turn up. They're going to be stepping on necks. Josh Allen going to do some stuff we've never seen before. And same thing with the Ravens, man. Even though I got them beating the Ravens, I feel like the Ravens are going to turn up. You know, I feel like they're going to flip a switch and really try to go after that Super Bowl. You're tired of losing, tired of getting so close, but yet being so far, you know. So I feel like one of the two are going to be in the Super Bowl for the AFC, Ravens or Bills. Spoiler alert. But yeah, Chiefs are going to be good regardless. They're like the Eagles. They're going to make it regardless. They're going to be in the playoffs regardless. So next, these are my underdogs, the Las Vegas Raiders. Even though I only have them going 5-12, I really like their offense. I really, really do. Geno Smith really does change everything for me, especially for Brock Bowers and Jacoby Myers if he stays and plays. Amari Cooper, even though he's old and a little washed, you know. And then Ashton Genty, you know, like they're going to be nice on offense, bro. It's just the defense is so bad that they won't be winning many games because of that. Like teams will be scoring effortlessly on them. Like it's going to be ridiculous. The only teams I have them beating are the Patriots, Chargers in week 2, splitting with the Chargers. That is an in-division game, so, you know, it can be up for grabs. And then Browns in week 12, of course, that's a gimme. Bears in week 4 and Colts in week 5, that's a gimme as well. But yeah, I have them losing to teams like the Titans, the Giants, the Cowboys. Titans, I feel like Cam Ward can really show what he has against that trash Raiders defense, you know. The defense is really holding them back. Like, they need to do something about that defense, like, seriously, like, now. Like, I would love if they were good. Like, I liked when the Raiders were good, you know. I don't know, something about that black and silver that really turns me on, you know what I'm saying? Like, I really like that color scheme for whatever reason. Like, I really liked the Raiders, liked watching the Raiders when Derek Carr was in his MVP mode, you know what I'm saying? I love watching them, bro. So I want to see the Raiders be good again. I'm not gonna lie, I really do. It just won't be this season though. Then the last and final team we have, the Los Angeles Chargers. I have them going 11-6 and making a playoff push. The Chargers are really tricky, you know. They're good, but at the same time, there is no gimme game with them unless they're playing the bottom of the barrel teams. Any game is 50-50. I hinted at that earlier. Any game with the Chargers is really 50-50. Like, it's not even funny. Like, it's crazy. I love Jay Herbo. Jay Herbo can throw for 5,000 yards if he wanted to. But it's really not him. It's what they have around him that isn't really supporting him as much anymore. They went and drafted Omarion Hampton, which I really like that pickup. Lad McConkey is going to be very great. He's going to be a wonderful slot player. One of them white boys slot plays. You know how to get down. Quentin Johnston, I think he learned how to catch the ball now. So I think he'll be a nice, receiver for Jay Herbo. And then they re-signed Keenan Allen again. You feel me? They had a connection. Keenan might be old, but he's still going to put up some numbers. He's still going to do what he got to do. Defense, I don't know who they got on their defense. I'm not even going to lie to you. I know that their defense isn't as horrible as it was a few years ago. But I don't think it's, all world, the best defense. But they do play a lot of bad teams. Titans, Cowboys, Raiders. I have them losing to the Raiders as well, though. Texans. I feel like they're way better than the Texans. But I do have them beating some good teams like the Commanders. Commanders can't win every single game, Got them beating the Steelers, the Chiefs. You feel me? That's an in-division game. Always play hard against each other. The Broncos in-division game as well, splitting with them. But yeah, their season is going to look very up and down. They're going to go on some losing streaks. They're going to go on some winning streaks. But I think ultimately they're going to end with a winning record and be close to the playoffs, if not already in the playoffs. And the standings for the AFC West, I have the Chiefs in first place, going 13-4, 4-2 in the division. Second place, I have the Chargers going 11-6, 3-3 in the division. Third place, Denver Broncos 10-7, 4-2 in the division. In fourth place, I have the Raiders going 5-12. This is a very, very close race. This is another one of those AFC divisions where everybody is very tight knit and close, in records. Besides the person in last place. But let's look at that AFC playoff picture. And here's a look at both the AFC and NFC standings. All right, boom. AFC playoff picture. Baltimore Ravens will be the number 1 seed. At the number 2 seed, I have the Buffalo Bills going 14-3. 3 seed, Kansas City Chiefs. 4 seed, the Jacksonville Jaguars. The 5 seed, the Chargers. 6 seed, the Broncos. And the 7 seed, the Bengals. I have 3 teams from the AFC West making it into the playoffs. That is kind of crazy. I'm not going to lie. Let's see who didn't make it. Who got snubbed? The Steelers got snubbed. Definitely the Steelers got snubbed. Yeah, nobody really else. You feel me? The Colts suck. Titans suck. Raiders suck. Browns suck. Patriots suck. Jets suck. Dolphins suck. Yeah, they're the only team with the winning record that didn't make it to the playoffs. All right, now it's time for me to predict every playoff game and who will get into the Super Bowl and who will be the champion of the 2025-2026 NFL season. So boom, off the rip, I am starting with the NFC. We have the Green Bay Packers versus Philadelphia Eagles. A rematch of last year's first round matchup. The Eagles beat the Green Bay Packers twice last year. Spanked them, really. I don't really think the outcome will be any different. Yes, they got Micah. They'll get more pressure on Jalen Hurts, which is a good thing. You feel me? Jalen Hurts, he's a good decision maker, but get him under pressure. Let's see what he can really do. You know what I'm saying? But the Eagles are just too good. They have too many weapons. Their defense is too good as well. I got the Eagles winning. Next game, the Lions versus the 49ers. Now, this is a very, very good game. If the 49ers are healthy, you feel me, that defense, Christian McCaffrey, if they have Brandon Ayuk by this time, I feel like the 49ers were the Lions before the Lions. You know what I'm saying? A bunch of talent, a bunch of explosive players, good defense. But I feel like that young, bite your knees off energy is just, you feel me, more prominent. It's more enthusiastic. It's more, you feel me, heartfelt and gritty than what the 49ers got going on. I'm not going to lie. So, especially after last season, how they got absolutely demolished by my Commanders, I feel like they're going to have a vengeance. I feel like they're going to feel some type of way. They're going to, want to prove everybody wrong. Like, we're not a mistake. It's not a mistake. This isn't a fluke. You know what I'm saying? We're going to make it. We're going to make a deep run. So, I got the Lions beating the 49ers. And then the last game of the wild card round of the NFC playoffs. Commanders versus the Falcons. I got the Commanders easy. Commanders just a better team, more talented. already proven quarterback. You feel me? Jaden Daniels already run 2 playoff games. You know, we beat the Falcons to, you know, clinch a playoff spot. Tells you everything you need to know. Oh no! Oh no! Why are we playing the Rams, bro? Oh my god! Oh my god! All right, let's not worry about that right now. Boom. Let's move over to the AFC. First matchup, we have the Bengals taking on the Buffalo Bills. This is going to be a good game. This is going to be a shootout by far. This is going to be a very high-scoring game. The Bengals have probably the best passing attack in the league. But the Bills are just the overall better team. And like I said, I feel like the Bills are just going to come with a vengeance. They're going to want to prove everybody wrong. They might not be as talented, but Josh Allen is going to have it in his heart. You know, he wants that ring very bad. He got his MVP. Now he wants his Super Bowl MVP. He wants that Super Bowl really, really bad, man. So I feel like he's going to come out different. Of course, Joe Burrow going to do all he can, but that defense not going to stop a thing. You know what I'm saying? The Bills defense might get a few stops. Bengals defense not going to stop anybody. So I definitely got the Bills, probably by a score or two, honestly. It's going to be high scoring, but the Bills are definitely going to win. Next game, we have a division rival game in the playoffs. The Broncos versus the Chiefs. This is going to be a very tough and gritty team. Broncos probably going to have one of the best defenses in the league. I feel like the Chiefs offense is going to bounce back from what they were last year, even though somehow they made it to the playoffs with that horrendous offense that they had. Mahomes threw for under 4,000 passing yards for like the first time in like a few years and whatnot. They weren't that good. They really weren't that good at all. But I feel like their offense is going to bounce back. I feel like Travis Kelce's going to bounce back. He just got married. He has to bounce back. You know what I'm saying? Bo Nix in his second playoff game. I'm not sure how he's going to play. You know, it's going to be a tough environment and Arrowhead, you know, against that defense. I don't know. Chiefs are just more talented. Chiefs are more experienced. So I got the Chiefs beating the Broncos. Now, we've seen this before. The Chargers versus the Jaguars. Chargers was up like 28-0 in the first half. And then the Jaguars came back and won. You know, same thing could happen this game. But you know what? I got my boy Jay Herbo finally getting his first playoff win. You know, I got my boy Jay Herbo proving everybody wrong, showing them that he can show up in big games. He can show up in playoff games. He can get a playoff win. My boy Jay Herbo is going to prove everybody wrong. Even though I really like the players on the Jaguars. Love BTJ, Travis Hunter. I just feel like the Chargers are gonna want it more. They're gonna want it more. The Jaguars are just a young team, you know. Chargers really got something to prove, and they're gonna prove it. And now we have our divisional matchups ready. Back to the NFC. This is what I was dreading. This is what I was hoping wouldn't happen. I have the Commanders taking on the Rams. Last year, this could have been a very similar thing. If the Rams beat the Eagles, we could have been playing the Rams. And let me be the first to tell y'all, I was praying to God that the Eagles won that game. Even though I did not want the Eagles to win because they would have had more of a chance to get to the Super Bowl, which they did get to the Super Bowl, and they won the Super Bowl, sadly. I would have much rather played the Eagles than the Rams. Because the Eagles, we've played the Eagles. We've seen the Eagles. We know what the Eagles have. We know the Eagles. You know, they're division rivals. We play them good. We were in a close game until literally our kick returner fumbled the ball. Our running back fumbled the ball, and then somebody else fumbled the ball. Like, we were playing good, bro. We were literally in that game. We were coming back. Jaden Daniels was leading us down the field. We get a big play, and somebody fumbles, bro. We could have easily won that game. We could have easily came back. Jaden Daniels could have led us on, you know, one of his game-winning drives. But I would have like I was saying, I would have much rather play the Eagles than the Rams. The Rams, like I keep saying, they're my dark horse Super Bowl team. The Rams are something different. You've seen what happened a few years ago when they were locked in. When they were locked in and healthy, they did the impossible. They went to the Super Bowl and won. Odell Beckham almost won Super Bowl MVP. If he didn't get injured, he would have won MVP. Like, I feel like they can do that again. You feel me? They have an old wide receiver on their team again. They have a young up-and-coming star. Even though Cooper Kupp wasn't really young back then, he was a star. But they have Puka Nacua as the number 1. Devontae Adams as the number 2. Kyron Williams in that backfield. They have a decent defense, bro. I'm really scared. I'm really scared. Because they could have beat the Eagles last year. They really could have. So even though it hurts my heart to do this, I got to take the Rams, man. And that's how you know I'm not being biased. I'm so scared of the Rams. If there's one team that I don't want the Commanders to play in the playoffs, it's the Rams. Anybody else, I'm cool. You feel me? Show me the money, you know? And then for the second game, the Lions versus the Eagles. This is going to be a very good game. I don't know what this game is going to look like. I honestly don't know. But, like I was saying earlier, I feel like the Lions are going to come with a vengeance. They're going to want to prove themselves. They're going to want to show everybody, that they aren't just a fluke team, that they can make it deep into the playoffs, that they can potentially make a Super Bowl push. And honestly, I believe it. I feel like the Eagles are going to fall off a little bit. I feel like they're not going to be as good as they were last year. Saquon is going to, he's going to have some tread on his tires. He's going to be a little achy, wear and tear on him. Jalen Hurts, I feel like he's not going to be any better. And that defense got worse. It did. The defense really did get worse. And you can call me a hater. You can say, you feel me, it's me being biased. I don't care. I hate the Eagles. So I'm taking the Lions, man. So for the NFC Championship, I have the Lions versus the Rams. To the AFC, first game, Chargers versus Ravens. This is very easy. Ravens, I ain't got to do much talking. Ravens is just by far the better team. In my opinion, the Ravens are the best overall team in the league right now this season. I believe the Ravens will have that chip on their shoulder to prove everybody wrong that they can make it. You feel me? They keep getting close, but yet so far, same thing as the Bills. Next game, the Chiefs versus the Bills. We have the classic Mahomes versus Josh Allen game again. Somehow, some way, the refs are going to play a vital role in this game for Patrick Mahomes, but I feel like Josh Allen is going to make miracles happen. Even though he made miracles happen a few years ago in 2021, and he just couldn't get the job done, and it's not even his fault, I feel like the Bills, like I said with the Ravens, they're going to have a chip on their shoulder. They're going to want to prove everybody wrong. That I can make it, that we can make it, that we aren't all talk, that we aren't just a regular season team, that we can make it past the Chiefs. For some reason, nobody can make it past the Chiefs, but guess what? We can make it past the Chiefs. We know we can, and we will. So I got the Bills winning this game. Josh Allen. And now we have a new look conference championships. Haven't seen these at all the past few years. Every conference championships past few years have had the Eagles or the Chiefs in it. Not this year. NFC Conference Championship. Lions taking on the Rams. This is going to be a very, very, very good game. The Rams are arguably the least talented team of the two. The Lions, they're going to have a lot of momentum going into this game. They're going to be feeling themselves, honestly. They're going to have a lot riding on them. And I feel like they're going to take that momentum. The Rams, they've been there. They have a lot of young players. They have some young players on their team, but they have some vets that have been there before, that know how it gets, that, they can stay composed and whatnot. So I feel like this will be a very close game. Very, very, very close game. But ultimately, I have to go with the Rams. Like I said, my underdog, my dark horse Super Bowl team. I have the LA Rams making it to the Super Bowl. And then back to the AFC. Bills versus Ravens. Probably the best two quarterbacks in the league. Josh Allen versus Lamar Jackson. Let's see who can make it to the Super Bowl first. Let's see who wants it more. Let's see who will outplay who. Who will we rank the number one player next season? Whoever wins this game will be the number one player next season. And whoever wins this game will probably win the Super Bowl. That's what everybody's probably saying right now. Who wants it more, Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson? In my opinion, I think Josh Allen wants it more. But who has the better team? Lamar Jackson. I'm not going to lie. I'm taking the Ravens. Even though I want my boy, Josh Allen, to get a ring. I want him to get 2 rings under a year. I really do. I just don't see it happening. With that defense and then his weapons, This Ravens team is really good. Like, it's really good. Like, it's really good, man. Lamar Jackson, Derrick Henry, Mark Andrews, Zay Flowers, Rashad Bateman, a healthy Isaiah Likely, defense, Jair Alexander, Cal Hamilton, Malachi Starks, Marlon Humphrey, Patrick Queen. Like, come on, bro. Like, this team is crazy, bro. And you know what? That's the reason why I have them winning the Super Bowl. I have the Ravens, this year's Super Bowl winner. I have the Ravens coming out on top this year. The Ravens will beat the Rams in the Super Bowl. The Ravens will be the best overall team in the league on offense and defense. And the Ravens will be bringing home the Lombardi Trophy. And those are my record and playoff predictions for every single team in the league. Y'all let me know how y'all feel about it. Who do y'all think I overrated? Who do y'all think I underrated? Y'all let me know the whole nine. What's your favorite team as well? Y'all let me know down in the comment who your favorite team is. But do y'all agree with my takes? Especially with the Ravens winning the Super Bowl. Y'all let me know. It's all opinion based. It's all knowledge based. You feel me? At the end of the day, it's my opinion. You can completely agree. That's perfectly fine. I want y'all to argue with me in the comments. I really do. But yeah, man, I appreciate y'all for watching this video. Please leave a like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new, and if you're not, why not sub up, man? You watching all of the videos. You watch this whole video to the end. This long video. You watch the whole thing and you still not subbed up, man. Go ahead and subscribe, bro. Especially if you're a football fan. Going to be reacting to almost every single NFL game this season, every single Commanders game by far, and every single big time playoff implicated, you feel me, great team game. You know what I'm saying? So sub up if you don't want to miss that. Appreciate y'all for watching, and make sure you send this to an NFL fan. But yeah, man, thank y'all once again. God bless y'all, and Joe out. Peace.